Here's a report from NBC News of Representative LaMonica McIver being charged.
Video back, everything that is out there, literally, it's very clear about what happened today. And I'm so thankful I've never been so thankful, Chris, for a camera phone more than ever today.
Yeah.
People was videotaping what was happening, and they saw clearly how we were being treated, how the mayor of Newark was treated. And it was just, it's un-American. And as members of Congress who are just there to do our job, what people elected us to do, to be treated like that. I mean, we were simply there just for a day of work. Chris, literally, to go there, make sure the facility is safe, make sure the detainees were getting, due process, making sure that they were, safe, the facility was up to par. That was all we were there for.
Yeah.
And for all of this to happen today for no apparent reason other than hatefulness and disrespect to the Constitution and our leadership is very clear today. It's on display.
The Justice Department filed charges yesterday against Democratic Congressman LaMonica McIver of New Jersey. McIver, seen here in the red blazer, is accused of assaulting and interfering with law enforcement officials earlier this month at an ICE facility in Newark. McIver says she was there to inspect the treatment of detainees at Delaney Hall. She says it was ICE agents who created an unsafe confrontation. Newark Mayor Ross Baraka was arrested during the clash, but his trespassing charge was later dropped.
Okay, so look at this nonsense. And we're going to get into the details, but with all due respect to the representative, McIver, who clearly, she hit a nail on the head. I disagree, though, with one thing. There's a reason they did it. Forced capitulation, bullying, fear, silencing. Those are all the reasons. And I believe, my opinion, it came from a higher power. I'm thinking someone who thinks they're king. Just my thought. Or a blonde sidekick. So let's give you the details. Democratic Representative LaMonica McIver charged with assault after a skirmish with federal officers who arrested the Newark mayor outside an immigration detention center. New Jersey's top federal prosecutor announced Monday. It's weird to call her top anything. Interim U.S. Attorney Alina Habba, social media announcing the charge of assaulting, impeding, or interfering with law enforcement. I hope she knows the details of the charges because she doesn't have a great track record in court and knowing just basic lawyering. We saw that when she was representing that King guy and some stuff. It wasn't good. Court papers providing details, though, were not immediately released, publicly available online. Habba, there's her glamour shot. Are you taking this job seriously? At the same time, Habba announced that her office was dismissing a misdemeanor case brought against Newark Mayor Ross Baraka, who was arrested after he attempted to join McIver and two other members of New Jersey's congressional delegation, inspecting the facility in their oversight capacity. Again, she was right. It's just a job. And frankly, when I have someone who is representing me, and I don't care if I voted for him or not, when I call, when I complain, you have to listen. That's what you're supposed to do. I sent one of my senators, Senator Jon Ossoff, a note saying, my mail's not being delivered, and this is a problem in Atlanta. And I was stunned when a bubble popped on my computer a few hours later. And suddenly the post office, who wasn't responding and getting smart when you go up there, they get real smart with you when you go up there. Suddenly they were reaching out to me and saying, we're going to get this thing solved. CC Senator Ossoff. So they're doing what they're supposed to do in Jersey because something's not right here. And that includes the facility, more to come. Okay? They were inspecting it. Oversight capacity. Habba said the decision was reached, quote, for the sake of moving forward, talking about dismissing the trumped up charge, pun intended, on the Newark mayor, Baraka. And said she has invited the mayor to tour the Delaney Hall Detention Center and will join him herself. I bet you would. He didn't ask you to join him, okay? Nobody. They're so bold. Nobody asked you to roll up there with him, Habba. He was just doing his job on behalf of the people. So let's simmer down and back off. Citizens of New Jersey deserve, it goes on to say, what do they deserve, Miss Haba? Unified leadership so we can get to work to keep our state safe, Haba said in a statement. Oh, you want to divide and conquer, I see. You gonna work with him like you didn't, and I don't mean to conflate the two. Mayor Adams in New York, that was weird. McIver's attorney, Paul Fishman, the former U.S. attorney for New Jersey, issued a statement calling the decision to charge McIver spectacularly inappropriate, saying she went to Delaney Hall to do her job, and she has the responsibility as a member of Congress to oversee U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's treatment of detainees. This ain't CCOT. The citizenry has a right to know what's going on in there with people who are accused. They still have rights. Rather than facilitating that inspection, ICE agents chose to escalate what should have been a peaceful situation into chaos, Fishman said. This prosecution is an attempt to shift the blame for ICE's behavior to Congresswoman McIver. In the courtroom, facts, not headlines, will matter. I hope he does civil cases too. I'd like her to hit him with that too. Nearly 2-minute clip released by the Homeland Security Department shows McIver on the facility side of a chain link fence just before the arrest of the mayor on the street side of the fence. She and uniformed officials go through the gate and she joins others shouting, "Surround the mayor." They know what was going to happen to him. I don't have a problem with that. Video shows McIver and a tightly packed group of people and officers at one point her left elbow and then right elbow push into an officer wearing a dark face covering and an olive green uniform emblazoned with the word police on it. Okay. McIver and the two other Democrats, Bonnie Watson Coleman, Robert Menendez Jr., have denied any wrongdoing and had accused federal agents of escalating the situation by arresting the mayor. Hey, folks, this is going to be another case where you are told that don't believe your eyes. Your eyes don't matter. It's only what they say. This is what people do with propaganda situations, okay? This is what they do. Don't preach about Russia or anybody else. It's happening here, U.S. soil, major city. There's no video that supports me body slamming anyone, McIver said in a recent CNN interview. We were simply there to do our job. It was a very tense situation. And unfortunately, it did not have to be like that. They created that confrontation. They created that chaos and then ultimately went to arrest the mayor. And then you drop it and say, oh, we need to work together, mayor. Kumbaya. Would you like to join me at the facility? Let's go to the Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem now. In a post on X, she said McIver was being charged after a thorough review of the video footage, an investigation by Homeland Security Investigations. You can't even secure your purse. The people sat right next to you in a restaurant and took your purse. So what are you talking about? Thoroughly review the contents of your purse the next time you go to a restaurant, okay? And stop shooting dogs, puppies. Then there was the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, also posted on X writing, assaults on federal law enforcement will not be tolerated. You sure? Can somebody find me the footage of January 6th? Because if not, it might be a misquote or something. A carve out for Capitol Hill officers in January 6th. We'll pretend that didn't happen. This administration will always protect those who work tirelessly to keep America safe, except on January 6th. I added that, but I find it truthful. It's a truthful statement now. Well, you didn't protect anybody on January 6th or after it. You wouldn't even meet with those law enforcement people. Look, we all saw this chaos. And again, you started it. You foolishly, none of these people would make the cut. Okay, they can't work in any of my 5 make-believe businesses that don't make any money. I would not hire them. I don't even know if I'd give them an interview. We have no revenue coming in, and I would not give these people an interview because once again, they're not making sense. They're robots. And while I noticed in the footage, I don't know if this has been reported here, I assume you saw it too, they were on the phone consulting with somebody. I don't know who it was, but I have my thoughts, my guesses about who wanted what to happen. I'll say that. I don't know who was on the phone. But these people couldn't even perpetrate a fraud correctly, okay? The mayor goes on the property, which he's entitled, then he leaves. Then you leave the property to go arrest the mayor for like nonsense and trespass, and you didn't leave, but he left, and then you came out and you got him not on your property. And then the lady her elbow touched somebody, she's bumped around the whole crowd. You've never been to, a concert or a soccer match? People get rowdy. It's just silliness. It's clownery. It's tomfoolery, but it's also very scary. I knew that they would do this to a civilian. You better shut up or make sure your taillight's not blinking, right? It's on the fritz or something. You know they're coming for you. But this is exceptionally bold, okay, by the puppet Haba, the top attorney in the state of New Jersey. Gee whiz. This is what they're doing to intimidate a sitting elected official. Several of them. They'll probably review it and keep on charging people. And it's weird to me that while we can be somewhat, if not pleased, find some comfort in the fact that the courts are seeming to stand their ground in the northern states anyway. But what about their partners? What about the people in Congress? Cowardly acts. And this Todd Blanche guy, you got your clock clean too. I'm not suggesting Todd Blanche doesn't know the law. He just had a client who was acting foolishly and falling asleep and having flatulence in court as well. That was reported. It was reported. The gas was reported. They deserve to be made fun of because you're making a mockery of this thing called America that already needed fixing. But you took it to a whole new level. Took it to a whole new level. This is Indisputable. I'm Sharon Reed. I hope that you will, we'll get to some of your comments because I do want to hear what you all have to say about some of this tomfoolery, the heartbreaker that was at the top of the show. Unarmed black man shot dead and a measly $3.5 million. God bless the family. Gee whiz. And now you have buffoonery. Put up their pictures again. She always has her hair and her extensions laid just beautifully. Okay, Kristi Noem and Todd Blanche. Can you imagine them at the administration luncheon? What do you even talk about? Do you talk about anything serious? Or is it all small talk about what Blanche might talk about where he gets his dog groomed? She should probably not bring up the subject of animals further.